Let me be real with you. Not every woman you meet deserves your time, your energy, or your effort. And if you don't learn to recognize the signs early, you'll end up stuck with the wrong one. The kind of woman who drains you, disrespects you, and kills your confidence without you even realizing it. Here's the truth most men avoid admitting. Some women reveal exactly who they are from the very beginning, but too many men choose to ignore those red flags because of attraction, loneliness, or the fear of being alone. That's when the biggest mistakes happen. This video is not about bashing women. It's about protecting yourself as a man. Because the harsh reality is, if you don't walk away the moment certain words are said, or certain behaviors are shown, you'll pay the price later. It might come in the form of wasted years, emotional damage, or losing sight of your own self-respect. And once that happens, it's a long road back to rebuilding yourself. Men today often hear the wrong advice. Be patient, give her time, or she'll change. But here's the reality. If a woman is showing you a serious red flag, she's telling you who she really is. You either believe her and walk away, or you gamble with your peace of mind. And peace of mind is not something you should ever gamble with. That's why in this video, I'm going to break down the exact things a woman might say or do that should immediately make you stop, take a step back, and walk away without hesitation. These aren't little quirks or imperfections. We're talking about deal breakers that tell you everything you need to know about her character, her values, and how she'll treat you in the long run. So, welcome to the channel. If you're here, it's because you want clarity and straight talk about dating and relationships from a man's perspective. Stick with me until the end, because the things you'll hear today might just save you from making one of the biggest mistakes of your life. 1. If she disrespects you, she'll never respect you later. Respect is the foundation of every healthy relationship. Without it, nothing else matters. A woman can say she loves you, she can tell you she cares, she can even act affectionate at times, but if she doesn't respect you, all of that is empty. And here's what most men overlook. Disrespect usually shows up early, long before things get serious. The problem is, too many guys brush it off, excuse it, or convince themselves it's not a big deal. That's the first mistake. Think about this. If she rolls her eyes every time you speak, constantly interrupts you, or mocks the things you're passionate about, that's not just her being playful. That's her showing you exactly how she views you. And if you tolerate it in the beginning, you're teaching her that it's acceptable to treat you that way. Once you give her that green light, she'll never truly respect you later. Respect isn't something you can earn back once you've lost it. If she sees you as someone she can walk over, she won't suddenly wake up one day and start admiring your strength. That switch doesn't flip. Men often think, if I just prove myself, if I show her how much I care, she'll start respecting me. But that's not how it works. Respect has to be there from the start. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you're out with a woman, and while you're talking about something important to you, maybe your career, your goals, or even something personal, she pulls out her phone and starts scrolling through social media. She laughs at random things on her feed while you're opening up to her. That moment tells you everything. She's not listening, she's not engaged, and she's certainly not respecting your time or words. Now, most men would brush it off, thinking, maybe she's distracted, maybe it's not a big deal. But it is a big deal. That's the early sign of a woman who doesn't value you. And if you ignore it, you're setting yourself up for a future where you're always second place in her mind. Here's the harsh truth. When a woman truly respects you, you feel it. She listens when you speak, she values your opinion, and she doesn't undermine you in front of others. And when she doesn't respect you, you feel that too. It's in her tone, her attitude, and the little ways she dismisses you. 2. The woman who competes with you instead of supporting you. One of the easiest ways to tell whether a woman is right for you is how she reacts to your wins. Pay attention to this, because it's more important than how she treats you when you're struggling. A woman who's truly with you will celebrate your victories, big or small. She'll stand beside you, proud of your progress, proud of your ambition, and proud of being part of your journey. But a woman who competes with you? That's a completely different story. Here's what competition looks like in a relationship. You share good news with her. Maybe you got a promotion. Maybe you closed a deal. Maybe you just hit a personal milestone. Instead of showing genuine excitement, she downplays it, compares it to something she did, or immediately shifts the focus back to herself. It's not about you growing. It's about making sure she doesn't feel like she's behind. That's not partnership. That's rivalry. And let me be clear. There's no peace in a relationship where your partner secretly views you as competition. You'll always feel tension. You'll always feel like you have to shrink yourself to make her comfortable. And eventually, you'll start doubting whether you can share your wins at all. That's not love. That's sabotage. Now, here's why this matters so much. As a man, your life is about progress. You should be striving to grow, mentally, financially, emotionally, physically. But if you're tied to a woman who can't handle your growth, she'll either drag you down or make you feel guilty for moving forward. That kind of dynamic is poison. Instead of focusing on becoming your best self, you'll waste energy managing her insecurities. A supportive woman doesn't feel threatened by your ambition. She feels inspired by it. She encourages you to push harder. She celebrates when you succeed, and she reminds you of your worth when you doubt yourself. That's what healthy love looks like. It's two people pushing each other forward, not pulling each other down. 3. When she talks bad about every man from her past. Pay close attention to how a woman speaks about the men who came before you. It tells you far more than you think. If every story she shares about her exes paints her as the victim and every man as the villain, that's not just gossip. It's a red flag about how she handles accountability, maturity, and conflict. Let's break it down. Everyone has a past, and nobody expects perfection. But when a woman constantly says, "All my exes were toxic," or "Every guy I've been with was controlling, abusive, or crazy," you need to stop and ask yourself one question. What's the common denominator? If she's always the innocent one and every man was the problem, chances are she hasn't taken a single look in the mirror. That lack of self-awareness will carry into her relationship with you. Here's the hidden danger most men miss. The way she talks about her exes today is exactly how she'll talk about you tomorrow if things don't work out. If she couldn't respect the men she once claimed to love, why would you expect her to respect you in the end? Words matter. When she spits venom about every man who came before you, what she's really showing you is how she processes disappointment and handles breakups. And if the only tool she has is blame, you're not signing up for love. You're signing up for drama. Men often fall into the trap of feeling special in this situation. They think, she must see something different in me. I'll prove to her I'm not like the rest. That's a dangerous mindset. Because if she hasn't healed, hasn't learned, and hasn't taken responsibility for her own role in past relationships, you're not saving her. You're just signing up to be the next story she tells about how awful men are. A mature woman doesn't need to drag her exes through the mud to explain her past. She can admit where things went wrong, acknowledge what she learned, and still move forward with respect. That shows emotional growth, and emotional growth is what makes a relationship last. 4. If she uses sex as a weapon, walk away fast. Sex is an important part of any romantic relationship. It's not just about physical pleasure, it's about connection, intimacy, and bonding. But when a woman starts using sex as a tool to control you, manipulate you, or punish you, that's a sign you need to step back immediately. Why? Because sex should never be a bargaining chip. Here's how it usually shows up. She withholds intimacy every time she's upset, even over minor issues, just to get her way. Or she only becomes affectionate when she wants something from you, money, favors, or attention. In that moment, it's not about closeness, it's about leverage. And the dangerous part is, if you tolerate it once, it quickly becomes the pattern of the entire relationship. Think about it. If she realizes that withholding intimacy gets her what she wants, why would she stop? She'll train you to jump through hoops for her approval. That's not love, that's control. And it doesn't stop with sex. If she can control your physical needs, she'll move on to controlling other areas of your life, your time, your decisions, your freedom. The problem is, many men overlook this behavior because they mistake it for normal relationship ups and downs. They think, maybe she's just not in the mood, or it's just a phase. But there's a clear difference between someone naturally not wanting intimacy at times and someone deliberately withholding it to manipulate you. One comes from honesty, the other comes from strategy. Here's something you need to remember. Intimacy in a healthy relationship should be mutual, natural, and freely given. It should never feel like a reward you have to earn or a punishment you have to endure. If she's turning it into a power play, you're not in a loving partnership. You're in a silent battle where she's always holding the upper hand. And let's be honest, over time, this dynamic destroys attraction. You start feeling resentful, frustrated, and emotionally disconnected. What was once about passion turns into tension. And eventually, instead of looking forward to intimacy, you begin associating it with conflict and control. That's not a future you want to build. 5. The woman who loves chaos more than peace. Some women thrive on peace, stability, and healthy connection. Others thrive on chaos, drama, and emotional roller coasters. The difference between the two is night and day, and if you ignore it, you'll end up trapped in a cycle that drains your energy and sanity. A woman who loves chaos more than peace will never allow you to build a calm, healthy life with her, because deep down, she doesn't know how to function without drama. You'll notice it in small ways at first. One day, she's affectionate and warm. The next day, she's distant and cold, without explanation. One moment, she's praising you. The next, she's picking a fight over nothing. And here's the key. These mood swings don't come from outside problems or genuine stress. They come from her need to stir things up. She craves the intensity of conflict because peace feels boring to her. Picture this. You're having a good day. Work went well, you're in a positive mood, and you're looking forward to spending time with her. But instead of enjoying the moment, she starts an argument out of nowhere. Maybe it's about something you said last week. Maybe it's about a text she didn't like, or maybe it's about nothing at all. The point isn't the issue, it's the chaos. For her, that emotional spike feels exciting, and she thrives on it. For you, it becomes exhausting. Here's the problem. If you stay in a relationship with a woman like this, you'll get conditioned to believe that love always comes with chaos. You'll start lowering your standards, telling yourself that all relationships are this unstable. But that's not true. A healthy relationship is steady, calm, and supportive. Yes, disagreements happen, but they're resolved with communication, not constant explosions. 6. When everything feels like a transaction. One of the clearest signs you need to walk away from a woman is when the relationship stops feeling like a connection and starts feeling like a business deal. When every moment, every gesture, every bit of affection comes with strings attached. You're not in love. You're in a transaction. And no man should settle for that. Here's how it shows up. You do something kind for her, and instead of appreciating it, she treats it like a down payment for the next favor she'll demand. Or she only shows interest in you when you're spending money, giving gifts, or offering resources. When love is genuine, it flows freely. When it's transactional, it always feels like you're being charged a hidden fee just for being with her. The danger here is subtle, but powerful. Over time, you'll start to believe that your value in the relationship is tied only to what you can provide. You'll feel pressure to keep giving, keep proving, keep buying her affection. And the more you play along, the more she'll train you to see love as a reward for payment. That's not intimacy. That's manipulation. A healthy woman doesn't measure your worth by what's in your wallet, what you can do for her, or how much effort you put in compared to what she gives back. She values your presence, your character, your consistency. She gives as much as she takes, and she sees the relationship as a partnership, not an exchange. That balance is what makes the bond strong. Too many men ignore this sign because they confuse transactional love with high standards. They think, she just wants me to step up, she wants me to prove myself. But there's a difference between being a man who provides and being a man who's exploited. A good woman appreciates provision, but she doesn't demand it as the price of her love. Ask yourself this: if you stopped giving, would the affection stop too? If the answer is yes, then you don't have a partner, you have a negotiator, and that's not someone you want to build a life with. Here's the hard truth: if she treats love like a business, she'll always be looking for the next better deal. The moment she finds someone who can offer more, she'll move on. Because for her, it's not about connection, it's about profit. 7. If she can't value you, stop trying to convince her. One of the most painful mistakes men make in relationships is trying to prove their value to a woman who doesn't see it. You bend over backward, you invest time, energy, and effort, thinking that if you just do enough, she'll wake up one day and appreciate you. But here's the truth: if she doesn't value you from the start, she never truly will. A woman who values you doesn't need convincing. She sees your worth not just in what you provide, but in who you are as a man. She respects your time, she appreciates your effort, and she recognizes what you bring into her life. On the other hand, a woman who can't value you will always act like you're not enough, and the harder you try to prove yourself, the more she'll take advantage. Here's the problem: many men mistake persistence for strength. They think, if I just show her how much I care, she'll change. But persistence in the wrong situation is not strength, it's self-sabotage. You're teaching her that she can give you the bare minimum while you give her everything. And once that dynamic is set, it's almost impossible to reverse. The truth is, women don't suddenly start valuing a man they've already dismissed. If she sees you as disposable, replaceable, or just an option, no amount of effort will change that. In fact, the more you try to prove yourself, the less she'll respect you. Why? Because people don't value what they don't have to earn. This is where men need to wake up. If she doesn't value you, it's not a sign for you to try harder. It's a sign for you to leave. Stop begging for appreciation. Stop lowering your standards to meet hers. Stop pouring energy into someone who has already shown you she doesn't see your worth. At the end of the day, relationships aren't complicated once you understand this one truth. A woman shows you exactly who she is through her words and actions. The problem isn't that men can't see it, it's that too many men choose to ignore it. And ignoring red flags is the fastest way to lose yourself in the wrong relationship. If she disrespects you, competes with you, badmouths every man from her past, uses intimacy as a weapon, thrives on chaos, treats everything like a transaction, or simply can't value you, those aren't quirks, those are deal breakers. Those are signs that no matter how much effort you put in, you'll never get the respect, peace, or love you deserve. Here's the controversial truth: a man who refuses to walk away from the wrong woman is choosing his own suffering. You don't fix these patterns, and you don't convince a woman to suddenly see your worth. You protect your dignity by recognizing when it's time to leave. So ask yourself, are you holding on to someone who's already shown you she doesn't deserve you? Or are you ready to respect yourself enough to walk away? I want to hear from you. What red flags have you ignored in the past, and how did it play out? Drop your stories in the comments, and I'll be engaging with you there. Remember this: walking away from the wrong woman isn't a loss, it's making space for the right one.